Okra or okra farming is one of the most profitable vegetable farming that one may consider to go into. And though uh, it is profitable, it comes with its own challenges. So in this video, I wish to share with you some of these challenges and also suggested strategies that you could put in place. You can enjoy your okra farming journey. Yes. So the very first one is pest and diseases. Just as other vegetables, okra is also susceptible to a lot of diseases and pests. So you as a farmer, you need to plan ahead of time, knowing that, look, when I plant my seeds, I would have to deal with some pests and diseases till um, my production cycle is over. Some of the pests and diseases that affects okra includes aphids, nematodes, fruit flies, and fungal diseases. Yes. So the strategy here is that you should not wait for your okra to be attacked before you start putting in measures. You should have your insecticides, you should have your antifungal ready so that for even the insecticides, within 2 weeks of planting, you can apply your first insecticide. By then, the dose will be a little bit minimal. Yes. Then the other challenge is climate variability. You know, our climate is changing with time. So those of us who depend entirely on the weather without any other form of mechanization or plan B, we would need to study the weather carefully because okra needs a lot of, not necessarily a lot, but okra needs water. Yes, okra needs a humid atmosphere to be able to flourish very well. So, climate is one of the challenges, but you would have to study well and be able to enter and exit at the right time. If you plant your okra and at a time that it is raining so much and your farm is flooded, then you should know that your investment is gone. Okay. Then the third challenge I want to talk about is access to quality seeds. Most often, people go in for some dried okra from um, farmers, maybe local farmers, and then they extract the seeds to plant on their own farm. When you go to smallholder farmers, that practice is common among them. But if you are uh, planting the okra for commercial purpose and on a commercial scale, then I advise you that you get quality seeds. You can consult the CSIR, the crop institute, the crop side of it, and they will help you with viable seeds that are resistant to disease, seeds that can stand the test of time, seeds that can give you a good yield. You can also visit the nearest agro shops and seek their guidance. Yes, there are a lot of informations and helps available, but it oftentimes seems like we don't tap into it. And so we make mistakes that we shouldn't have been making as farmers. And at the end of the day, our yield drops. And because we've put in um, money in purchasing chemicals and all that, we end up losing. So getting quality seed is very important because it can affect your overall yield, and also the crop's lifespan can be limited, yeah, on the farm. So if you want a high yield, get a high quality okra seeds. The next thing I want to talk about is water scarcity. Yeah, in some regions of Ghana, water is a major issue. And so if you, as I have mentioned earlier, we need water to be able to grow our okra very well. So if the weather is such a hot one that water dries out so early, or it stops raining so early, then you wouldn't want to do anything there unless you are ready to drill your own borehole and have your farm mechanized. And it is one of the things I will encourage you if you want to go into commercial scale okra production and you have the capacity, then I think that you should do mechanized farming. That way, you can produce even during the hot um, season, yeah, the dry season, because you wouldn't have to depend on the rain water, which doesn't, which isn't available throughout the year. So, like I mentioned, okra requires consistent moisture, and inadequate irrigation can lead to reduced yields. So you want to be sure that you have water. Then lack of proper infrastructure. Yes, road networks, storage facilities can greatly affect your, production, and in effect, your profit, because um, okra, for instance, when you harvest it, within 2 to 3 days, you see that it will begin to change. Um, I don't know how to really refer to it, but it begins to change. It begins to change even in color. Okay, three to, yeah. So as the days progresses, even the water content in it, the moisture content in it begin to dries out, and the okra looks some way, which one is not attractive, and two, people do not really patronize such. So you want to make sure that where your okra farm is, there is a proper road network, yes, so that your okra can be transported timely to um, the market or the consumer, so that you can reduce post-harvest losses. Then the other thing is limited access to finance. This one is very serious. Limited access to finance. You see, um, many people do not, uh, many people have not yet grasped the concept that farming is an investment, in the sense that even banks, take for instance agri development bank and all those people, when you go to them seeking for a loan, which I wouldn't advise though to put into your farm, they wouldn't, because they see your farm as a risk, and so they want to invest into it. So sometimes getting capital from credit and financial institutions to invest in your farm and purchase the necessary equipment is really a major challenge. However, let me mention that there are also countless of uh, funding opportunities available for Ghanaians, Africans, especially. the young youths who are willing to go into agriculture. So another time we are going to talk about those funding avenues and how to get access to such. Then market access. Yes. Finding a reliable market and obtaining fair prices for okra can be challenging, especially for small scale farmers. Yes, it can be really, really challenging. And sometimes most farmers are at the mercy of the market women. And you see, when the market women come to the farm like that, they are coming to buy from the farmer and then they will go and retail in the market. And so obviously, the farmer would have to give it to them at a price that is low, so that when they also go and sell, they can be able to get some profit. And so most at times the farmers uh, lose a lot of money, and if the market women too couldn't come for it, it means that it is going to spoil on the farm. So I advise people that before you go into okra production, you should have a sure market. Yes, you should have a sure market. And you should have, if possible, have a written contract, a written agreement. Get an off-taker, somebody who buys from you, so that your okra wouldn't be ready, and then you'll be um, uh, you'll be stranded. Yes, it could be that somebody who is into export can serve as your off taker. Somebody who is into processing can serve as your off taker. So when you produce, then the person buy from you. You don't have to worry. You know that the person, you have a contract with the person to come for it. Then the other challenge is lack of training and extension services. You see, I keep telling people that farming is not like going to deposit your money in the bank or in an investment trust fund, then you can just come and sleep believing that your money is working for you. No, farming requires a lot of hard work. And so when you want to go into farming of any kind, not only okra, make ensure that you have um, the right knowledge about it so that you wouldn't lose your investment. Many people get into farming just because, and even other businesses, just because they've heard from others that it is profitable, not taking into consideration the requisite knowledge to be able to bring that profitability to reality. So they end up losing mercilessly. I do not want the same thing to happen to you. So make sure you have the right knowledge and get an extension service. It's not really expensive as we think. Though in most of our district we do not have enough extension officers. There are some districts in Ghana that they only have one extension officer or two. And so the extension officers going around farms become very difficult. But hey, don't worry. There are programs that you can get into. And when you get into these programs, you have people, equal minded people, higher minded people who will be helping you out. Then weed control. Weed control is very important. If you do not control weeds properly on your farm, they begin to compete with the okra plant, depriving it of sunlight, nutrient, water, and others. This, in the long run, affects the okra, and I'm using okra and okra um, interchangeably. That is fine. This affects the okra, and sometimes they may even wither and die because they become deprived of the needed nutrient for their growth. So you want to make sure that you use the right strategy on your farm. There are selective weedicides that you can use on your okra farm. And the other method you can also use is hoeing. Yes, you can use hoeing, but um, people, you see, these days a lot of um, innovative methods are coming up. There are people who neither use weedicide nor hoe. Yeah, they have a way that they mulch their farm and exposing only the okra plant. I will check out what the name of that strategy is. Then we have pesticides misuse. Use of pesticides, including the use of unauthorized or harmful chemicals, can have adverse effect on crop quality and the environment. And so you realize that most, because of pesticides misused and all those things, fertilizers, you buy certain crops, you bring it to your house, vegetables, you bring it to your house. Just before you could say, Jack, you want to use it, then they go rotten, they are spoiled. The, the pesticides are so much such that it has reduced the quality of and the shelf life of the vegetable. And that is the challenge that we are facing in these recent times. Now, it's not just about um, the half-life that has been reduced, but also that these things are being consumed by people, which in effect, because the pesticides, the residual uh, amount, or there is still a residue of those chemicals on the crops, it end up harming people getting food poisoning and all this stuff. So it is very important to learn around the use of pesticides, get the right guidance, get the right doses that you should use, and also seek um, seek professional advice. I often advise that while using chemicals are fine, if you can use the organic chemicals, yeah, there are organic pesticides, there are organic fertilizers that can be used, and these things are less harmful. And so, if these challenges that I have mentioned, you've been able to put them in perspective and then deal with them, then I can assure you that you are going to enjoy your okra farming journey.